Well, someone who is coming back to help us out defensively is our Trevoh Chalobah, one of our own, Cobham graduate. I'm pleased to have him back. I love him as a player. I've loved watching him play over the years. I go to Cobham quite a lot and know his dad. Dad's lovely. Aside from that, he's back at Chelsea. How are you feeling about it, Jody? Are you pleased to have him back?
As a fan, I'm absolutely pleased to have him back. I don't think he should have gone out of the door. For me, he was our best defender at the end of last season. I think he was harshly treated at pre-season, where he gets a shout the day before they're travelling to America, where he's not travelling and he's been training with the team for 2 weeks. Looking at what we have defensively, I would have took Trev over a number of players. So I'm pleased he's back from a Chelsea point of view, where we're going. I think defensively we need reinforcements and we need to get better, and I think Trev will help us do that. From a personal note, I just hope that for Trev, because he's gone to Palace and he's been getting his gains and he hasn't been treated well over the past year to 18 months for me. And if he does come back, I hope that we play him as much as he was getting game time at Crystal Palace for his own career and his own development, because he's been nothing but put his body on the line. Great professional at Chelsea, come through the ranks, great kid, done nothing but give his all for Chelsea, and I think he's had a couple of moments where I think the club could have been better with him. So I hope that he comes back and plays.
No.
Agreed. Look, he's got his own song. There's something about an academy boy coming through, because he represents, I see academy boys coming through, he represents me as a Chelsea fan. The system that he plays, Maresca, in possession, we are a three at the back, because that inverted fullback, whether it be Gusto, Reece or Casado, it was. And I think Trevor on that right-hand side can play that role, which is kind of amazing when you think about the players that he's had in there. Josh Acheampong, by the way, done really well. He's one for the future, that kid.
Very good.
And he can play that. He likes to step into that midfield. With the injuries to Fofana and Badiashile, and Dizaze looks like he's not going to quite be good enough at Chelsea, certainly from what we've seen, certainly at centre-half. And I feel desperately sorry for Trev, but you know what a chance to come back, because I think he does start. Yeah. I think he starts because of the system he plays. Trevor has played a three at Palace. He played a three at Chelsea. He's done that in the past. I think the role that he wants to play, I think we'll see him on that right, stepping into playing that wide receiving as well. So good luck to the boy. Hope he does himself.
I think
proud.
that's a good point from you, though, Jace, as well, though, is that let's not forget how well, OK, I know they brought Josh off at the weekend, but let's not. I was at the Palace game and he had an outstanding game at centre-half. Yeah, and as far as he's almost like a young Trev, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree. I think that he's got all the attributes to play in a Maresca team. Now, the only thing that worries me is that he done the exact same last year, came back. I think Poch brought him back into the team, defended great, played great, and then all of a sudden was shipped out. So let's see what happens.
Can't do any more though, can he? Do you know, if the club see you as an asset and move you on, all he can do is come back.
Yeah, and I actually think that's why a load of the Chelsea fans have been quite vocal, saying, we feel for him, but actually we'll give him a hell of a lot of support. That first game that he plays, coming back, I think you'll see how much the Chelsea fans appreciate him, because, like I said, he's put his head down, been professional and giving his all for Chelsea every time he's played.
Hasn't said a word, has he, either? Because he can feel slightly unfortunate for when things have gone, but wish him all the best when he comes back.
Absolutely, and Jody, like you say, he's a professional, isn't he? He's shown that throughout his whole career so far. Really hope he's playing on Monday, because I will be shouting his name. Let's talk about our central midfield. We've got Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, who have had a good season. Enzo Fernandez had a little dip and then came good again. What do you make of that pairing, Jody?
I'm still a little bit unsure of it, because of more from a defensive aspect, where I still think that there's games where we control it and we dominate the game. And I have to say, I thought Enzo was very good against Palace as well. I really enjoyed watching him play there, and I do think he's performed well of late. There's still something about the combinations in the midfield that I'm not sure about, because I do believe some of the problems that we have from being open does come from those in midfield. Now, I'm sitting here saying that, but I do believe Caicedo's been our best player this season. So I'm just a little bit concerned with how sometimes we can easily lose control of a game. And a lot of the time when you lose control of games, it's to do with what's going on in midfield. Now, I felt we've done that against Palace, or we allow teams to come back into it. Now, whether that's, like I said, whether that's us giving up chances, which then allows teams to get their back up. But as far as a partnership, I wouldn't say that they've played badly individually. And like, I'm a Lavia fan. I do like him a lot. I think he brings something a little bit different. But there's still a little bit of me where, as a combination, I think that they can be doing better as a combination from a tactical aspect, whether it's one being closer to the other, one maybe not leaving the other one as isolated, or maybe staying for a little while, and game management sort of side of it, where I think we can control games a little bit better. But I think individually, I don't think that they've been performing badly. I just think as a collective, they can maybe do a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just thinking about how that will work. Let's assume, for the sake of this conversation, Reece comes back. Well, if Reece is on that right-hand side, there's going to be an inverted fullback, whether it's going to be Cucurella. Certainly what we've seen, Palace away, it's the only game I can remember where we did invert the fullbacks. We stayed as a 4 at the back. How do you get Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo in the same team if Reece is playing at right back? You can't. Unless you change the shape, and he's not going to do that. So that's going to be fascinating to see how he gets that, how he sorts that 3 out, what he does, and who plays at right back. And if Reece does, someone's got to make way. And I'm with Joe. I think Lavia he's the one that makes it tick in there for me. He's the one that allows Enzo to go and do what he wants. Caicedo and Enzo as a 2, it's a bit, not enough dynamism in there, certainly from Enzo's point of view. But fascinating to see what he does with that, with the inverted fullback, if Reece does go inside.
Yeah, and because when that is happening, you're expecting one of the midfielders to be a little bit more higher up and offer a goal threat. And I think that's something that we lack. Whatever way we want to look at the midfield and how they perform, there's not any goals coming from our midfield. No, I know there's been a couple, but I'm like, there's not a threat. It's not like a natural number 8 that's going to be arriving in the box 25 times a game like a Lamps would do. Yeah. I think we miss that side of it. And if Jace is right, if it don't matter what side, because I do believe Reece can go up and down on the right. I don't think he needs to come inside it. It can be Cucurella, or you can alternate whatever way you're doing it. But when that happens, there needs to be the knock-on effect of those midfielders going into the box and threatening, or sometimes going beyond the strikers. And at the moment, none of those players really look like they can do that.
Well, someone that is flying in midfield at the moment is our Conor Gallagher. I say our Conor Gallagher, he is one of our own. At Atletico Madrid, 14 wins on the bounce. He has been integral with those wins. Do you think we regret letting him go?
I think it's hard to say. It depends on what reasons you let him go for. Because for me personally, I don't think they let him go from a footballing aspect. I know there was a lot of chat about Conor can't play in the way Enzo wants to play football. Well, I think that's a load of nonsense. Like, Conor's played for England. He's played in a team that wanted to play football. Conor could offer more of a goal threat than the three midfielders that we've got now, as far as his energy in getting into the box. We was talking off air earlier where Jace said, don't tell me Conor can't press in this team. Like, Enzo likes to press. There's no better pressing midfielder than Conor. Like I said, I don't think it was a footballing decision. I think it was purely financial and from a business aspect. Mm-hmm. Now, as a Chelsea fan, am I happy about that? No. But at the same time, the club needs to run in a certain way and they need to do what they believe is best for the club going forward. Now, is Conor upset at being at Atletico Madrid and being top of the league? I'm not so sure he is. So it might have worked out good for both parties.
Got his first goal for England as well, didn't he? So it's all working out.
I'm pleased for him. He's a great kid. Like, we all love Conor. He's, like you said, he's a homegrown player, but he's a great lad. And like I said, weirdly enough, playing on the left side of the midfield 4 quite a lot of the time at Atletico. But if you're talking about dream managers to play for, as far as Conor Gallagher's type and Diego Simeone, you're going, that's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely. Yep.